Here are the most recent deaths in the national news, as reported at Legacy.com the third week of June 2023. Legacy.com is where you can find any obituary or publish an obituary in any newspaper in America and beyond. Actor Brett Hadley died June 15, 2023, at the Motion Picture and Television Country House and Hospital in Los Angeles. He died of sepsis at the age of 92. He played police detective Carl Williams on The Young and the Restless in the 1980s and 90s. Hadley is also being remembered for roles on such TV shows as The FBI, Marcus Welby MD, and The Incredible Hulk. Football player Clark Haggans died June 20, 2023, at the age of 46. He was a linebacker who helped lead the Pittsburgh Steelers to victory against the Seattle Seahawks in Super Bowl 40. Haggans is also being remembered for his seasons with the Arizona Cardinals and San Francisco 49ers. A note to remember, sometimes personal information, such as someone's cause of death, is not announced immediately or publicly at all by their family or the authorities. Every family has a right to their privacy. Actress Angela Thorne died June 16, 2023, at her home at the age of 84. She starred in the British series To the Manor Born as Marjorie Frobisher. Thorne is also being remembered for playing Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher in Anyone for Dennis. Donald Triplett died June 15, 2023, of complications from a fall in March at the age of 89. In the 1930s, when he was 5 years old, he was the first person ever diagnosed with autism. Triplett is being remembered as a friend to all in his hometown as well as a world traveler. Political activist Daniel Ellsberg died June 16, 2023, at his home in Kensington, California. He died of pancreatic cancer at the age of 92. He was the whistleblower who leaked the Pentagon Papers to the press, setting in motion a chain of events that led to the Watergate scandal and President Richard Nixon's resignation. Ellsberg is being remembered as a lifelong anti-war and anti-nuclear activist. Musician and actress Teresa Taylor died June 18, 2023, of lung disease at the age of 60. She was a drummer for the indie rock band Butthole Surfers, known for their 1996 hit Pepper. Taylor is also being remembered for a scene-stealing role in the classic indie film Slacker. Football player Bob Brown died June 16, 2023, in Oakland, California. He died after suffering a stroke in April at the age of 81. In the 1960s and 70s, he was an offensive tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles, Los Angeles Rams, and Oakland Raiders. Brown is being remembered as the Boomer, a Hall of Fame player known for his intimidating presence and aggressive style of play. Rapper Big Pokey died June 18, 2023, in Beaumont, Texas, at the age of 48. Born Milton Powell, he helped pioneer the chopped and screwed style of hip-hop, which includes slowed-down beats, cut-up and erratic samples, and scratching. Big Pokey is being remembered for songs like Sittin' Sideways and Southside Royalty Freestyle. Actor Paxton Whitehead died June 16, 2023, at a hospital in Arlington, Virginia. He died of complications from a fall at the age of 85. He was a Tony-nominated Broadway star who had a memorable role in the Rodney Dangerfield movie Back to School. Whitehead is also being remembered for guest spots and recurring roles on TV shows like Friends, Frasier, and Mad About You. Pilot Jim Twedo died June 16, 2023, near Shaktoolik, Alaska. He died of injuries sustained in a small plane crash at the age of 68. He was a star of the Discovery Channel reality show Flying Wild Alaska, which featured his family-run airline, Era, flying people and cargo around remote areas of Alaska. Tweto is being remembered for his skill under challenging flight conditions. Olympian Ben Helfgott died June 16, 2023, in London at the age of 93. He was a Holocaust survivor who went on to compete as a weightlifter in the 1956 and 1960 Olympics. He was one of only 2 known Olympians who were Holocaust survivors. Helfgott is being remembered as an advocate for those who suffered the horrors of the Holocaust, who spent his life ensuring that their stories continue to be told. Author Julie Garwood died June 8, 2023, at her home in Leawood, Kansas. She died after fighting lung cancer at the age of 78. She was known for her best-selling historical romance novels like The Secret, For the Roses, and Gentle Warrior. Garwood is also being remembered for her later suspense romance novels. Baseball player George Frazier died June 19, 2023, in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He died after an illness at the age of 68. He was a pitcher who helped the Minnesota Twins achieve victory at the 1987 World Series. He also played for teams like the New York Yankees and Chicago Cubs. Frazier is also being remembered as a longtime color commentator for the Colorado Rockies. Meteorologist George Winterling died June 21, 2023, at the age of 91. He was the longtime chief meteorologist at WJXT in Jacksonville, Florida, where he was the first to develop the concept of the heat index combining temperature with humidity. He is being remembered as the only meteorologist to correctly predict that 1964's Hurricane Dora would hit Jacksonville. Winterling was a U.S. Air Force veteran who served in the 1940s and 50s. Author Carol Higgins Clark died June 12, 2023, in Los Angeles. She died of appendix cancer at the age of 66. She wrote the best-selling Regan Riley series of mystery novels, including Decked, Jinxed, and Knocked. Higgins Clark is being remembered as the daughter of the iconic mystery novelist Mary Higgins Clark, with whom she collaborated on several books and stories. Five people are presumed dead after the Titan submersible went missing at sea this week while en route to the wreckage of the Titanic. Their names are Shahzada Dawood, Suleiman Dawood, Hamish Harding, Paul-Henri Nargeolet, Stockton Rush. 16 people were killed on June 15, 2023, in a collision between a truck and a bus near Carberry, Manitoba, Canada. Their names are Louis Bredisher, Margaret Furcalo, Vanjie Gilchrist, Anne Hill, Helen Kufle, Arlene Lindquist, Diane Medwood, Nettie Nakonechny, Shirley Novolkowski, Frank Pergillo, Rose Pergillo, Jean Rosenkrantz, Donna Shodra, Lillian Stobie, Patsy Zamerkut, Claudia Zerba. In addition to featuring current deaths in the news, Legacy.com also honors the lives and legacies of notable people who died in the past. Here are some of this week's anniversaries. 10 years ago this week, actor James Gandolfini died at the age of 51. He was the Emmy Award-winning star of The Sopranos. 11 years ago this week, Rodney King died at the age of 47. His 1991 beating by Los Angeles police sparked deadly riots that lasted for days even as King pled for peace. 15 years ago this week, actress and dancer Sid Caesar died at the age of 86. Her memorable films included Singin' in the Rain and Brigadoon. 22 years ago this week, actor Carol O'Connor died at the age of 76. He was one of the greatest TV stars of all time, starring in All in the Family and In the Heat of the Night. 22 years ago this week, musician John Lee Hooker died. His year of birth is disputed, and he may have been either 83 or 88 at the time of his death. He was a legendary blues guitarist known for songs like Boom Boom and One Bourbon, One Scotch, One Beer. 25 years ago this week, actress Maureen O'Sullivan died at the age of 87. She played Jane in a series of Tarzan movies opposite Johnny Weissmuller, and she was the mother of actress Mia Farrow. Actor Danny Aiello was born 90 years ago this week. He died in 2019 at the age of 86. He was nominated for an Academy Award for his performance in Do the Right Thing. Actress Jane Russell was born 102 years ago this week. She died in 2011 at the age of 89. A top sex symbol of the 1940s and 50s, she starred in movies like Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Baseball player Lou Gehrig was born 120 years ago this week. He died in 1941 at the age of 37. He was a 6-time World Series champion with the New York Yankees before his career and his life were cut short by ALS, the condition now often referred to as Lou Gehrig's disease. Artist M.C. Escher was born 125 years ago this week. He died in 1972 at the age of 73. His mind-bending art included features like never-ending stares and impossible perspectives. Every week in the United States, flags are lowered to half-staff to honor the lives of Americans whose communities are mourning their loss. Here are the most recent half-staff memorial flag honors. Flags in Iowa have been lowered to honor the memory of U.S. Army Corporal Delbert White, who died as a POW in the Korean War in 1951. His remains were recently identified and returned home for burial. Flags in Minnesota have been lowered to honor the memory of St. Paul Fire Captain Christopher Parsons. Flags in Pennsylvania have been lowered to honor the memory of State Trooper Jacques F. Rougeau Jr., who died in the line of duty. Flags in New Jersey have been lowered to honor the memory of Senator Jim Hurley. Flags in West Virginia have been lowered to honor the memory of State Supreme Court Justice Warren Randolph McGraw. You can read more about the lives of the people featured in this video on Legacy.com. At Legacy.com, any family can publish an obituary in honor of a loved one's memory, online and in local newspapers everywhere. Just visit Legacy.com and select your local community. You can also follow Legacy.com on Facebook and subscribe to our channel on YouTube to stay up to date on national news deaths.